Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Happy Glam Fabulous. Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We have 2 subscribers now. Woo! Way to go, us. We're doing so good. So today we'll be reviewing Big Brother, the most recent episode from Sunday. So at this point, I think we left off with the live eviction, which was Jillian went home in a surprising quote-unquote upset because everyone expected Christmas to go home. Not only was she injured, but it seemed like Cody and Jessica had the votes. Cody was the sitting HOH. And we leave off with the Candy Crush HOH competition. And so we come back and we see that pretty much everyone outside of Jessica and maybe even Alex are working with Paul. And we see that everyone is basically throwing their balls in and getting tickets and giving the tickets to Paul to try and get his ball into the circle to win HOH. And it works. Everyone is working with Paul. And even when Paul won, Mark catches him and throws him in the air. And Mark was previously aligned with Cody. While he did vote against Cody and he was honest, I did somewhat expect him to still work with Cody. I just assumed he didn't vote for Christmas to go home because they didn't have the votes and he didn't want to be outside of the majority in the house. So I gotta be honest, I don't necessarily like it. I actually hated other seasons when everyone in the house was against 1 or 2 people. I don't like it. I like for there to be kind of an even kill, except for season 6. And season 7, I always went for Janelle and Howie's alliance and Kesar. But outside of that season, every other season, I hated when the rest of the house was against like 1 or 2 people. However, Cody and Jessica make it really easy to not root for them. Not only, did Cody do that weird thing with Alex where he jeopardized his entire team to protect somebody who did not want to work with him. She repeatedly said, I don't want to work with you. She repeatedly rejected his advances to work with his team. And against Jessica's best wishes, he not only went for Alex and jeopardized his own POV competition to help Alex win, but he also called Jessica Alex in bed, of all places. Also, he put Paul up against Jessica's best wishes. Last week, I said it. I wanted Jessica to kind of distance herself from Cody. But it seems like with all the turmoil in the house, it's just pushed them right together. And I kind of understand it. They had no one else but each other. But Jessica, you didn't make those moves. And you still have time to redeem yourself. So after the live eviction and right before the HOH competition, we see that Jessica and Christmas exchange words. I don't really get the gist of the argument. I felt like Jessica was clearly rattled, so she attacked Christmas because of her comments during the live eviction. But Jessica, that's the name of the game. If you've ever seen the show, you've seen that everyone gets to speak their piece when they're on the block at the live eviction. So I'm not really sure why you took such offense to that. It is what it is. At that point, you could have kept your head down, stayed focused, and really didn't let yourself get rattled for that HOH competition. You're extremely athletic, in shape, and focused. You could have pulled one out, but you didn't. You stayed rattled. I hate it when they let other people get under their skin. I would have just nodded and been like, okay, cool, game on. It is what it is. But in that house, things are different. So we see Paul win the HOH. Here's what I don't like. I don't like that everyone flocked to Paul. I don't know if it's because he's the returnee or he came in and they knew he had 3 weeks of safety, which is smart on their part because they need to make good with him. He can't go home for a while. But at the end of the day, I don't like quote unquote in-house celebrities. Kind of like when returnees go in, when Jeff and Jordan went in and everyone was up their ass. I love Jeff and Jordan, but I didn't really like how the other house played the game. They kind of just were handing them the game. I want to see everyone play, and then I want to see my favorites win, like truly win. So anyway, so basically we see that they're playing the game, and they all come in from Paul winning the HOH. Immediately, all chaos breaks loose. They start to accuse Josh and Ramses of switching on them. They believe Kevin, which Kevin has a face you can believe, and it was smart on his part not to tell them that he voted against them. But Ramses and Josh took the footing for that, and they really didn't deserve it. Ramses' best friend was Jillian. So why would they think that he voted to get her out. That was dumb. Again, they were rattled. And then Josh, he doesn't seem trustworthy. I understand them not trusting him, but I don't like his kiss-ass mentality. Cody told him multiple times to get the F out of his face. He called him the B word. And Josh was still like, I just want you to know I trust you. And I never would. Josh, take a hint. Walk away. They don't want to work with you? Cool. They don't even have the numbers. If anything, they should be trying to work with you now. They need to be building up their alliance, and they're not. Let them fall by the wayside, and you keep your peace. I didn't like that he continued to press on and ask for their forgiveness and try to explain himself to them. It just wasn't necessary. They're not going to believe you regardless. You can't pull tape. You can't do anything. When they get voted out, they'll be able to see how wrong they were. Rest and assure yourself that is what will happen. Play your game. Stop trying to kiss ass. I hate it. I actually really hate it. So that was a really weird argument, and that left Josh crying. Like, he was bawling his eyes out. And everyone was like helping Josh. Basically, Cody and Jessica pushed more people to the other side. Like, they really could have pulled in Josh, pulled in Ramses, tried to work with them, tried their best to get Mark back, and I would have let Alex go, but obviously Cody is not going to stop chipping away at that. So they could have built up an alliance for themselves. They didn't. They isolated. They stayed like sourpusses. I watched some of the live feeds, and I saw some of their conversations about being narcissistic and the most narcissistic couple in Big Brother history. I hate, quote unquote, the Big Brother history line. Everything is Big Brother history. Everything. If it's not coming from Julie Chen, I don't believe your version of Big Brother history. Stop talking about it. But I didn't like that they were talking about being narcissistic. They make it easy to hate them. Jessica's a pretty girl, but she doesn't seem very bright. She seems really dense and extremely vain. And I kind of got that just from Christmas at first, and now I'm seeing there is more depth to her. And she's a fighter, man. She's on crutches, and she's still going as hard as she can, sliding across that floor. So anyway, fast forward to the Den of Temptation. Christmas wins the temptation, and then she puts James, thank God he's not back. Jason, Cody, and Jessica into the cauldron. And we are reminded that Ramses won the poisonous snake or whatever it was called. He was poisoned, so he is now a third nominee on the block against his wishes. And we have that going for us. And so we get Christmas winning that. And I don't remember the consequence that comes in the house, but I feel like it was unitards for the 3 people who were put in the cauldron. I'm not really sure. So Christmas wins, and she's extremely happy, which I'm happy for her. I wanted it to be some sort of safety, but she wins the replacement vote, and I'm not really sure what that means. So I guess I'm gonna have to see how that plays out. They explained it, but it was a little bit confusing for me. And then they all go back down, and they're speculating on who won it. Paul is hoping that whoever won it was on his side of the house. Odds are in your favor, Paul. What I don't like is how Paul now becomes President Paul. And by that I mean he goes back into making the big quote-unquote friendship speeches. That I need you to trust me. I'm going to bring redemption to the house. It is a game built around secrets, lies, alliances, strategy, focus. Somebody's going to lie, and somebody's going to be double-crossing. And I understand you having your own agenda, but I don't like the whole, I'm going to unite the house. Because what does that get you? Everyone has to turn on each other at some point. Stop, President Paul. Don't take this, too far. And everyone's just nodding along. So then Paul talks to Josh and he talks to Alex about putting them up as pawns. Everyone who knows Big Brother knows pawns usually go home. But this one seems like a really solid plan if Kevin is on board. But we see that Kevin is a wild card. President Paul decides to nominate Alex and Josh, and we see Ramses put himself on the block as he's supposed to. All the while, Christmas knows, she has the power of replacement. I'm waiting to see how she uses that, if she uses it. And I don't even know how long that lasts. If anyone knows, please leave me a comment below. So that wraps up this episode. Next episode, we're going to get the power of veto competition, and we're going to get to see the curse that's on the house play out, and hopefully we get to see this this temptation that Christmas won. I'm hoping that we get to see how she's going to use it. But if you have any comments or questions or feedback in general, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Once again, thanks so much for listening. And I'll see you guys. Well, I'm sorry. I'll meet with you guys again on Wednesday after the Power Veto competition. Again, this is Big Brother 19. Thanks for tuning in. Everyone have a great day.